I came home early from my business trip. There was a car I didn't recognize.
I came home early from a business trip and found my wife in our bed with another man. I froze in the doorway, watching the woman I loved for 10 years destroy everything we had built together. She looked up and saw me standing there, her face turning pale with terror. That was the moment our marriage ended. No screaming, no second chances, no forgiveness. I simply turned around and walked out, filing for divorce the very next morning. Now, 6 months later, she calls me every week, begging for another chance, crying that she made one mistake, but I will never go back. Some betrayals cannot be forgiven. Welcome to Storytime Central. This is my true story of how my wife destroyed our 10-year marriage in a single day, and how I walked away forever. Let me tell you what happened. I was on a business trip in Chicago for a 3-day conference, when everything fell apart. The conference was suddenly canceled on Tuesday afternoon. The main speaker got sick, and they decided to reschedule the entire event. I tried calling my wife, Emma, to tell her I was coming home early, but she didn't answer her phone. I texted her, but got no response. I figured she was busy at work, or maybe her phone was on silent. So I booked an earlier flight, grabbed my bags, and headed to the airport. I was actually excited to surprise her. We had been married for 7 years, together for 10 total, and I thought things were good. We had our ups and downs, like any couple, but nothing serious. We were talking about buying a bigger house, maybe starting a family soon. I loved her. I trusted her completely. I had no reason not to. The flight back was uneventful. I spent most of it thinking about what we could do for dinner. Maybe order Thai food, her favorite, maybe open that nice bottle of wine we had been saving for a special occasion. I was in a genuinely good mood, looking forward to seeing my wife a day earlier than planned. I landed around 6 in the evening and took an Uber straight home. The whole ride I was still trying to reach Emma, but she wasn't picking up or responding to texts. I started to feel a little worried, but I told myself she was probably just busy, or maybe taking a nap after a long day at work. She worked as a marketing manager, and sometimes came home exhausted. When the Uber pulled up to our house, I immediately noticed an unfamiliar car in the driveway. A silver BMW, with tinted windows. I had never seen it before. We lived in a quiet suburban neighborhood, where everyone pretty much knew everyone else's cars. This one stood out. I figured, maybe it belonged to a coworker who gave Emma a ride home. Or maybe a friend visiting. But something about it made me feel uneasy. I paid the driver, grabbed my suitcase, and walked up to the front door. I used my key to unlock it, and stepped inside. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Usually, Emma had music playing, or the TV on, but there was nothing. No sound at all. I called out her name. Emma, I'm home early. No response. I set my suitcase down in the entryway, and walked toward the kitchen. That's when I noticed 2 wine glasses on the counter. Both glasses had lipstick marks on them. One was Emma's usual pink shade, but the other was a dark burgundy red. Emma never wore that color. She always said it made her look too harsh. My heart started pounding. My hands started shaking. Something was very wrong. I stood there staring at those wine glasses, for what felt like forever, but was probably only a few seconds, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. Maybe it was her sister. Maybe it was a friend from work. Maybe there was a perfectly reasonable explanation, but deep down, I already knew. The truth was screaming at me, even though I didn't want to believe it. I walked toward the staircase slowly. Each step felt heavier than the last. As I climbed the stairs, I could hear sounds coming from our bedroom. Sounds that made my stomach turn. Sounds that confirmed my worst fears. My whole body went cold. I stopped halfway up the stairs, and considered turning around. Walking out, pretending I never came home early, but I couldn't. I had to see it with my own eyes. I had to know the truth. I reached the top of the stairs, and stood outside our bedroom door for what felt like an eternity. My hand was trembling as I reached for the doorknob. I took a deep breath, opened the door, and walked in. There they were, my wife Emma, and a man I had never seen before. In our bed. The bed I paid for. The bed we had shared for 7 years. The bed where we had laughed, talked, made love, made plans for our future. And now, She was in it with someone else. They were so lost in each other. They didn't even notice me at first. I stood there in the doorway, watching the woman I loved betray me, in the most painful way possible. I don't know how long I stood there. Maybe 5 seconds, maybe 30. Time stopped making sense. Finally, Emma turned her head and saw me, her eyes locked with mine. And I watched every emotion flash across her face in an instant. Shock, terror, panic, guilt. Her face went completely white, like she had seen a ghost. She screamed my name, David, and scrambled to grab the sheets to cover herself. The man next to her jumped up, looking terrified. He was probably in his early 30s, tall, dark hair, attractive, I guess. He started fumbling for his clothes, which were scattered all over the floor. Our floor. He kept saying, "I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know she was married," which was complete bullshit, because Emma was wearing her wedding ring. I could see it clearly on her left hand. Even in that moment, even while she was destroying our marriage, the ring I had saved for months to buy was still on her finger. Emma was trying to talk to me, her voice high-pitched and desperate. "David, please wait. David, please let me explain. David, I can explain this. David, please don't leave." She kept saying my name over and over, like it would somehow fix what I had just witnessed. Like saying my name enough times would erase the image of her in bed with another man. I didn't say anything at first. I just stood there, looking at her, really looking at her. This was the woman I had promised to love forever. The woman who had promised to love me. The woman who stood in front of our friends and family and vowed to be faithful to me. And here she was, breaking those vows. In the worst possible way. The man finally got his pants on and tried to run past me. He mumbled something like, "I'm really sorry, man, this is messed up," as he rushed down the stairs. A few seconds later, I heard the front door slam shut. I heard his car engine start. I heard him peel out of our driveway, like he couldn't get away fast enough. Like he was the victim in all this. Emma was still in bed, wrapped in our sheets, crying hysterically. She kept reaching out to me, begging me to stay, to listen to her. "David, please, we can talk about this. David, it didn't mean anything. David, I love you. David, please, I made a mistake. David, we can fix this." I finally found my voice. I looked her straight in the eyes and said just 3 words. "I want a divorce." Her face crumbled completely. She fell to her knees on the bed, still wrapped in the sheets. "No, David, no, please, you don't mean that. David, we can work through this. David, please, it was just one time. It was a mistake. David, I love you so much. Please don't do this." I let her finish her pathetic excuses. Then, without saying another word, I turned around, walked out of that bedroom, walked down the stairs, picked up my suitcase that was still sitting in the entryway, and walked right back out the front door. I got in my car and drove. I didn't even know where I was going at first. I just drove. Eventually, I ended up at a hotel downtown. I checked in, asked for a room for a week, paid in cash, and went upstairs. I sat on the edge of the bed, in that sterile hotel room, and just stared at the wall. I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. No pain. Just complete emptiness. Like someone had reached into my chest and pulled out everything that made me human. My phone started ringing. It was Emma. I declined the call. It rang again. Declined again. It kept ringing. Over and over and over. I finally turned it off. I couldn't listen to her voice. I couldn't read her excuses. I couldn't deal with any of it. I turned my phone back on an hour later and saw 50 missed calls from Emma. I also had over 100 text messages, all from her, all begging, all pleading, all making excuses. I started reading them. The first one said, "David, please answer. I'm so sorry." Then, "Please come home. We need to talk." Then, "It didn't mean anything, I swear." Then, "I love you so much. Please don't do this." Then, "He means nothing to me. You are everything." Then, "I'll do anything to fix this. Please, just talk to me." On and on and on. Hundreds of messages saying the same things. Over and over. I made it through maybe the first 20. Before I stopped reading. I didn't care what she had to say. There was nothing she could say that would change what I saw. Nothing she could say That would make me trust her again. Nothing she could say that would fix this. I blocked her number. That night, I didn't sleep. I just lay in that hotel bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything in my mind, trying to figure out when it started, how long it had been going on, how I missed the signs. Was I blind? Was I stupid? Was I so trusting that I didn't see what was happening right in front of me? The next morning, I called a divorce attorney. First thing, I found one online with good reviews and explained my situation. I told him I came home early from a trip and caught my wife in bed with another man. I told him I wanted the quickest, cleanest divorce possible. I told him I didn't want to drag this out. I just wanted it over. The attorney asked if I was sure. He asked if Emma and I had considered marriage counseling. He asked if this was maybe something we could work through with professional help. I told him no. I told him there was nothing to work through. I told him she made her choice, and I made mine. He said he understood, and that he would start the paperwork immediately. That same day, I called a locksmith, a friend of mine who owed me a favor. I explained the situation and asked if he could meet me at the house while Emma was at work. He said absolutely. He met me there that afternoon and changed all the locks on every door. It probably wasn't entirely legal, since it was still technically marital property, but I didn't care. I was not going to let her back in that house. I could not stand the thought of her being in our home, in our bed, acting like nothing happened. After the locks were changed, I went through the house and packed up all of Emma's belongings, her clothes, her shoes, her makeup, her books, everything. I boxed it all up and put it in the garage. I sent her a text from a new phone number I had just gotten, telling her that her things were packed and ready for pickup. She responded immediately, begging me to talk to her face to face. I ignored her. She came by the next day to get her stuff. I made sure I wasn't there. I couldn't look at her. I couldn't be in the same space as her. I asked my brother to be there, just in case she tried anything. He texted me later and said she cried the entire time. She was loading boxes into her car. He said she kept asking where I was, and if I would please just talk to her. He told her I wasn't ready, and probably never would be. The divorce process took 4 months. We had a prenuptial agreement, thank God, which made things move faster. We split our assets, 50-50. I kept the house, because I could afford the mortgage on my own, and Emma didn't fight me on it. She signed everything her lawyer sent her, without pushback. I think she thought that if she cooperated, if she made everything easy for me, I might change my mind. I might give her another chance. She was wrong. During those 4 months, Emma tried everything to get me to talk to her. She sent flowers to my office, with cards that said, "I'm so sorry, please forgive me." I sent them back. She showed up at my gym one morning. I saw her walk in, and I immediately turned around and left. She wrote me a 20-page letter, explaining everything. The affair had only been going on for 3 weeks. She met him at a work conference in Denver. They exchanged numbers. They started texting. It escalated. She said she was confused. She said she felt like our marriage had gotten boring. She said she didn't know what she was thinking. She said it was the biggest mistake of her life. She said she loved me more than anything, and she would spend the rest of her life making it up to me, if I just gave her one more chance. I read the first page of that letter, then threw it in the trash. I didn't care about her excuses. I didn't care about her reasons. I didn't care about her regrets. She made her choices. Now she had to live with them. She reached out to my friends, asking them to talk to me. Most of them told her to leave me alone. My best friend, Mike, told her she was lucky I didn't blast her all over social media for what she did. He told her she should be grateful. I was handling things quietly, and with dignity. She reached out to my family too. She called my mom crying, begging her to convince me to give her another chance. My mom, who had always liked Emma, told her, "I'm sorry, but what you did was unforgivable. David deserves better." She called my sister, who told her the same thing. Even Emma's own parents reached out to me. Her dad called and said, "David, I am so ashamed of my daughter. I don't know what she was thinking. You are a good man, and you deserve better. I'm so sorry." But through all of it, I never told anyone the full details. I just said Emma cheated, and we were getting divorced. I didn't give names. I didn't describe what I saw. I didn't post about it online. I didn't try to destroy her reputation. I just wanted out. I wanted to move on. I wanted her out of my life completely. The divorce was finalized in July. For months after I caught her, 4 months of her begging, crying, sending gifts, showing up places, trying everything to get me back. 4 months of me, completely ignoring her, blocking her, refusing to engage. When I signed those final papers, I felt nothing. No relief, no sadness, no anger, nothing. Just a sense that a chapter of my life was closed. A bad chapter that I was happy to leave behind. After the divorce, Emma completely fell apart. According to mutual friends, she lost her job. Apparently, she was so distracted and depressed. She couldn't focus on her work. She got written up multiple times for poor performance. And eventually, they let her go. She stopped taking care of herself. Friends said she gained weight, stopped doing her hair and makeup, stopped going out. She just stayed home, all day, every day, wallowing in what she had done. Her sister reached out to me, about 2 months after the divorce was final. She said Emma was in really bad shape. She said Emma had tried therapy, but couldn't get past what she did. She said Emma talked about me constantly, said I was the love of her life, said she destroyed the best thing that ever happened to her, said she didn't know how to move on. I listened politely, then told her sister I was sorry. Emma was struggling, but it wasn't my problem anymore. Her sister said she understood. She said she just wanted me to know, in case I had any feelings left for Emma. I told her I didn't. Those feelings died the moment I opened that bedroom door. 6 months after the divorce, I started dating again. I wasn't actively looking for anything. I just wanted to get back out there. I went on a few dates through apps. Nothing serious. Just coffee or drinks. Trying to remember what it felt like to connect with someone new. Then I met Sarah at a charity event my company was sponsoring. We ended up talking for 3 hours. She was smart, funny, kind, genuine, and she had no idea about my past. She didn't know about Emma, or the divorce, or any of it. We were just two people, getting to know each other. We exchanged numbers, started texting, started going on actual dates, and things just naturally developed. She made me laugh. She made me feel like myself again. She reminded me what it felt like to be with someone who actually respected me. Eventually, I told her about Emma. She asked why my last marriage ended, and I gave her the short version. I came home early from a trip, caught my wife cheating, filed for divorce, never looked back. Sarah's response was perfect. She said, "Good. You deserve someone who respects you. She clearly never deserved you." And that was it. No pity, no drama, just understanding. Around that same time, Emma found out through mutual friends that I was seeing someone, and that's when the real desperation started. She started calling me again, from different numbers, because I had blocked her original one. Every time a new number popped up, I blocked it. She must have gone through 10 different numbers, trying to reach me. She showed up at my house twice. The first time, I saw her car pull up, and I immediately called the police. I told them my ex-wife was harassing me, and I wanted her removed from my property. They came, and told her to leave. The second time she showed up, I wasn't home, but my neighbor saw her sitting in her car, in my driveway, for over an hour, just waiting. When I got home and saw her, I called the police again. This time, I filed for a restraining order. She sent messages through mutual friends, desperate messages, begging for just one conversation, just 5 minutes, just a chance to apologize in person. I refused every single request. I had nothing to say to her. All her messages said basically the same thing. I made one mistake, David. One terrible mistake in 10 years together. Doesn't that count for anything? Don't I deserve a second chance? You were my everything. How can you just move on? Like I never meant anything to you. Please, David, I'm begging you. Please just talk to me. I'll do anything. But here's what she never understood. It wasn't one mistake. It was hundreds of choices. She chose to meet that man. She chose to exchange numbers with him. She chose to text him back. She chose to invite him to our house. She chose to pour him wine. She chose to take him upstairs. She chose to get into our bed with him. Every single one of those was a choice. A deliberate choice to betray me. A deliberate choice to destroy our marriage. One mistake is forgetting to pick up milk from the store. One mistake is being late to dinner. One mistake is forgetting an anniversary. This wasn't a mistake. This was a series of calculated decisions, and I will never forgive her for any of them. Today, it has been almost a year since I walked out of that bedroom, and my life is completely different. Sarah and I are serious now. We just moved in together a few weeks ago. My career is going great. I got promoted to senior manager. I make more money than I ever have. I have peace. I sleep well at night. I don't carry anger or resentment toward Emma. I just don't think about her at all. Emma, on the other hand, is still stuck. She still calls me. She still sends messages through friends, asking if I'll ever talk to her again. Her sister told me recently that Emma hasn't dated anyone since our divorce. She said Emma compares every man to me. She said no one measures up. She said Emma believes she destroyed the best relationship she will ever have. And you know what? She's absolutely right. She did. People ask me sometimes if I ever think about taking her back. They ask if I ever regret being so harsh. They ask if I think everyone deserves a second chance, especially after 10 years together. My answer is always the same. No. Cheating is a choice. Betrayal is a choice. She made that choice, fully knowing it could destroy everything we built. And it did. That is on her, not on me. I don't owe her forgiveness. I don't owe her a second chance. I don't owe her anything. Some people think I'm cold. They think marriage is supposed to be about forgiveness, about working through the hard times, about commitment through thick and thin. They say one affair shouldn't end a 10-year relationship. But I completely disagree. Trust is the foundation of everything. Without trust, there is no marriage. There is no relationship. There is nothing. And once that trust is broken, it can never be fully repaired. You can try. You can go to therapy. You can make promises. But there will always be that voice in the back of your mind asking, what if? What if she does it again? What if she's lying? What if I can never really trust her? I refuse to live like that. I refuse to spend the rest of my life checking her phone every time it buzzed. I refuse to wonder every time she said she was working late. I refuse to become that kind of paranoid, insecure person who doesn't trust their partner. I deserve better than that. Everyone does. So I walked away. I chose myself. One chose my peace. I chose my future. And I have never once regretted that decision. Not for a single second. Emma destroyed our marriage in one day. And I left her in one day. No second chances. No looking back. No regrets. To anyone listening to this, who is going through something similar, who caught their partner cheating, who's being told by friends or family that they should forgive and move on, I want you to know something. You don't owe anyone forgiveness. You don't owe anyone a second chance. You are allowed to have standards. You are allowed to have boundaries. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to choose yourself. Cheating is not a mistake. It is a betrayal. It is a choice. And you deserve someone who would never make that choice. Don't settle for less. Don't let guilt, or history, or other people's opinions make you stay in a broken relationship. Life is too short to spend it with someone who doesn't respect you. Emma still calls me every few weeks like clockwork. She leaves voicemails that I delete without listening. She sends texts that I don't read. She holds on to hope that someday I'll change my mind, that someday I'll forgive her, that someday we'll get back together. But that day will never come. I've moved on. I'm happy. I'm with someone who respects me, who values me, who would never betray me, and that is all I ever wanted. So that is my story. The story of how my wife destroyed our 10-year marriage in one single day, and how I walked away without ever looking back. Some people think I am heartless for not giving her a second chance, but I think I am strong. I refuse to let someone who betrayed me define my future. I refused to spend my life wondering if she would do it again. I chose peace over pain, and I have never been happier. If this story resonated with you, if you have ever been betrayed, if you believe in standing up for yourself, please hit that like button, comment below, and tell me what you would have done in my situation. Would you have given her a second chance, or would you have walked away like I did? There is no right or wrong answer. Everyone has to make their own choice. But for me it was the easiest decision I ever made. Don't forget to subscribe to Storytime Central for more real-life dramatic stories. We post new content every week about betrayal, revenge, karma, and people who chose themselves over toxic relationships. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Thank you for listening to my story. And remember this, you deserve someone who respects you. You deserve someone who values you. You deserve someone who would never betray you. Never settle for less. Your peace, your happiness, your future are worth fighting for. Take care everyone, and I will see you in the next video.